Hi, this is Phil Hinton, and in our final video from the recent HDMI event, I spoke to a cable manufacturer who's bringing their cables to the UK and who are the first to be DPL certified. Brent, I'm going to ask you the obvious question. What's HDMI all about, and how can consumers get the best out of HDMI?
HDMI was primarily developed for a way to make it easier for the consumer to take care of his own gear, in all honesty. They looked at what was happening with digital video. They needed a secure transmission mode. DVI's large terminal, no audio, screwed down. They were afraid people could pull it out of the back of a piece of gear. So HDMI was created along the USB platform. That was really their goal, was to create single cable, audio, video, data control, easily plugged in, easily controlled, simple to use, and work every time. And contrary to popular belief, the vast majority of jobs, it really does all of this. The typical customer picks up a panel at whatever the local discount warehouse is, buys himself a DVD player, gets a satellite receiver, plugs his cable in. The chances are pretty high, first time, every time, it's going to work. Custom integration, specialty jobs is where the problem started to arise. That was not what HDMI was thinking of. Wasn't malicious intent, it was just lack of understanding.
So how do you go about solving problems that have arisen in the custom install business, and more importantly for people that have spent a lot of money on their equipment and for some reason this £10–20 cable is just not working?
Well, a lot of our problem solving comes from actually going out into the field with the installers, seeing how it's used, what are they doing with it, and why the failure. Once we have a concept of what they're doing, utilizing outboard engineering services like Envisions or DPL, we will sit down and work out what's causing the problem and see if it's something we can actually fix. Once that fix is determined upon, the product can go in production, and we put these things out there to installers first and foremost to find out, is it really going to solve the issue before it goes to the general public? Things will work great on the bench, may not in the real world. You have a variety of different brands, different sources, different applications, even environmental differences. Heat, humidity can affect it, whether or not you have pets in the house. Pet dander getting on a circuit board in an HDMI device can cause it to overheat and shut down. How do you predict this as an installer or as a homeowner? Nobody knew till it happened.
So with these problems turning up, what has your company done to try and minimize the problems in the field?
Well, the real goal first and foremost was to create a cable that was reliable. With Ethereal, we never were a high-end cable company. I just wanted something that, as an integrator, I could plug in the customer's house, turn it on, it worked, I get my paycheck, I walk away. I don't go back till they're ready to add something else. That is really the goal. To achieve this goal, we looked at cable geometry. One of the things that our engineering firm Envisions found out was a lot of cables are not properly wired inside. You got the terminal, the copper's there, everything's good, but it may not always work. And that comes down to differences inside the cable for geometry. You've got 19 conductors in that wire. Several of them are balanced sets, meaning you have a send, a return, and a ground. And they have to twist exactly the same way all the way down. So those crossover points are identical distance and angles. If they're not, that speed on that particular pair will vary from the other pairs. Then on top of that, the crosses for all three pairs plus the clock have to line up so that the null points are the same identical time frame all the way down. When you buy up with a properly tested and certified cable, what you're getting is a better geometry. When you can buy a $39 cable, you can buy a $1,000 plus cable. One would hope there's legitimately a difference there. In some cases, not all, there isn't. There is certainly smoke and mirrors in the industry, and I would encourage the forums and the magazines and the end users to go out and talk to each other and find out what really works for them. We use an organization called DPL. This is a third-party company that we submit our products to for testing. They give us a very honest and unbiased explanation, and if it's screwed up, they'll say, you have a problem here. Here's what you need to fix. Based on this report, we look at a given product at a given price range. I'm not going to expect a $99 cable to perform like a $1,000 cable. I can't afford to build that $1,000 cable and sell it for $99 because of the geometry requirements. But I can build the best $99 cable on the market. That's my goal. And we look at what everybody else is doing at a given price point, their performance levels. Can we get beyond this consistently and know that every cable out of every package is going to perform the same? With DPL, we're looking at making sure that my cable performs the same every package you get. DPL as an organization, they take our initial 5, they test them, and they're looking for consistency amongst all 5 samples. Do they all perform the same within a tight parameter? If they do not, that lowers my overall score. If they do, that helps my overall score. Then once we are approved a certification, then they will go out into the retail environment throughout the years, 4 times a year, buy samples of it from a retailer or distributor and retest it to make sure that my product is the same product they originally certified. So as the consumer, you can know if you go out and buy Ethereal Model Y, it's going to be the exact same product that was tested and given this score.
Finally, what would you say to our forum members or consumers in general that might come across this video on the internet and think, well, I don't know much about HDMI. What advice would you give them?
Well, the first thing is digital is not digital. There's a great saying wandering around the forums that it either works or it doesn't work. You can get a picture or not get a picture, but that doesn't quantify that it's going to continue to function and work properly. The best thing I can recommend, whether it's my product or anybody else's, is A, talk to friends. Find out what they've used, what they haven't had problems with. B, look at industry organizations that actively test and verify the products. HDMI.org is a good place to start to look at brands that are certified. That does not tell you the whole story. It's not uncommon for a specific brand vendor to get his product from a master adoptee. Now, as a master adoptee, you have the ability to build this product and you're licensed. But a specific vendor may require certain things to his wire that others do not. That does not change the certification. HDMI certification, while saying the product works, does not going to guarantee its work with other HDMI certified products. SimPlay moves in that direction. If it's SimPlay certified, there's a greater chance that there's interoperability between source, display, cable, receiver. DPL takes it much further. They tell us exactly how that cable is going to perform every time and verify it. And the numbers are verifiable by anybody that wants to check it. I would go to dplrating.org, look at the product you're looking to buy, see what its actual rating is. If it's not rated, ask the supplier or the manufacturer why not. Find out their reason. Sometimes they don't know about it, sometimes they're afraid, sometimes they're selling smoke and mirrors and don't want people to know the truth. Find out what really works. Don't buy the cheapest piece just because it's cheap and digital is digital. It's not.